Welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. Today I got 5 modern 9.8 comics ready to explode in value. So let's get right into it. First one up is an Earth 2 number 19. First appearance of Val Zod Superman. And I got to say a big thanks. It was to Comic Probe, who commented on our, it was the Calvin Ellis video we did where we talked about Final Crisis 7 and the Calvin Ellis Superman. And he had just mentioned like, hey, why'd you go with Calvin Ellis over Val Zod Superman? And to be honest, I did not know about Val Zod Superman. I think, you know, as far as DC Comics, I'm kind of like a Batman exclusive type of guy. I never really got into collecting Superman comics. But just doing a little bit of research and like, you know, last night and this morning on Val Zod and some of the key issues, I pretty much think, like, even just knowing this one for like 2 days, that these are better than the Calvin Ellis Superman books. And I'm kind of, you know, a little bit embarrassed, to be honest, that I recommended the Calvin Ellis Superman books over this Val Zod Superman. I think if you want to speculate on a black Superman, this Val Zod Superman is the ones to go after for sure. And there's two kind of main key issues, I would say. Earth 2 number 19 is a first appearance of Val Zod. 52 9.8s in a blue label, 48.1%, the 9.8 ratio. I think this one's going to sell right around $500. I actually hadn't saw any recent completed listings on eBay searches, but I just kind of extrapolated from this one. Earth 2 number 25. Check out this great Val Zod cover by Andy Kubert too. Almost can't go wrong on a great Andy Kubert cover. People say this is kind of the first full appearance of Val Zod. I got to get to reading these. I wasn't able to read them in the last few days, but you know, I do want to get around to reading these. Seems like a really cool story. 38 9.8s in a blue label on Earth 2 25, a 1 of 38. 45.2% is the 9.8 ratio for Earth 2 25. Saw that one sell in a 9.8 white pages for $399. So $400 we'll call it on that one. So I think on the first print, or the first appearance on Earth 2 19, with maybe a cover that's not as good as Earth 225, that'll probably go for maybe $100 more than an Earth 225 because you get that first appearance. So I'm thinking right around $500 is a decent deal on an Earth 219. And an Earth 225 selling for $400. So first, Val Zod Superman. I do think it's so much more likely, like now that I know of both books, that a Val Zod Superman would be on the big screen as a great, like, black Superman rather than a Calvin Ellis. So I think these are absolutely the books to get and ones to keep an eye on, absolutely, in the modern age moving forward here. Okay, next one is a Guardians of the Galaxy number 1 from 2008. This is pretty much the first full appearance of the new team Guardians of the Galaxy that we all know from the MCU movies. Great collector item, this one as well, in a 9.8. Really sticks out as a modern age book in a CGC 9.8, being a really tough 9.8. 207 9.8s in a blue label. A 1 of 207 for kind of first full appearance of the Guardians team. Pretty awesome. 23.8% is the 9.8 ratio. So of all graded copies, only 23.8% of them are 9.8s, which is pretty fantastic for a book that's come out after the year 2000. Like a low 20s 9.8 ratio for a modern book is a really tough 9.8. So I saw one sell for $407.99. This was in an old case though. I think that's going to be pretty rock bottom on this one. I've saw them sell for kind of $550. I think one even went for $600 sort of in the last like 3 to 6 months. That $407.99 in an old case is kind of going to be pretty rock bottom, I think, on Guardians of the Galaxy number 1 right now. And yeah, somehow, like, you know, the third Guardians movie is coming, but somehow this one just doesn't seem as, you know, heavily speculated on. I don't think it takes anyone by surprise, like, you know, those Hawkeye books. Like, nobody really cared about Hawkeye, and then she's coming out to Disney Plus, so everyone was surprised and, you know, started looking at all these Hawkeye keys, whereas, you know, this is the third Guardians movie now, and yeah, this one just doesn't really seem to be taking people by surprise. Consider Annihilation Conquest 6 as well. I got that one in a 9.8 as well. That predates Guardians of the Galaxy number 1, and in that one they basically fight against the Phalanx, and they all come together, and it's, you know, all the MCU characters, Star-Lord, Gamora, and Drax, and Groot, and they fight in Annihilation Conquest 6, and then at the end they're like, hey, maybe we should kind of, you know, be proactive and get a team together kind of thing, and that leads into Guardians of the Galaxy number 1. So they're both kind of, you know, maybe that Annihilation Conquest is the first appearance of the new Guardians of the Galaxy team, and then first full appearance on Guardians of the Galaxy number 1 from 2008. Annihilation Conquest in the 9.8 saw one sell for $388. I think that's a decent, price target to aim for sure. Next one, great modern investment grade book to consider, an NYX number 3. First appearance of Laura Kinney, X23. There's just a no-brainer modern key issue that first appearance of the new Wolverine. Lots of potential there. Maybe MCU or X-Men's coming out in the MCU. Maybe they go with Laura Kinney as a Wolverine, or maybe they bring her into the mix. There's a 2,038 9.8s in a blue label for an NYX number 3. 39.7%, the 9.8 ratio. Recent prices, this price here, $1,724. That's an absolute price target to aim for if you can get that for this one. I always thought this one was kind of going right around 2,000, but a couple $100 under 2,000 is looking like a fantastic deal on an NYX number 3. Another one sold for $1,926. So that's the kind of price range on an NYX number 3. Still lots of potential with that one. Yeah, it's a big, kind of expensive, obvious key issue, but Laura Kinney in the MCU, this one's going nuclear, I think, for sure. And who knows if that's going to happen. It's a cool one regardless, but there's some potential there for sure. Okay, next one, a Teen Titans number 12 in a 9.8. For me, this is kind of the coolest villain first appearance in the last kind of 5 or 10 years with The Batman Who Laughs is a first full appearance of The Batman Who Laughs on a Teen Titans 12. There's a 678 9.8s in a blue label for this one, 25.3%, the 9.8 ratio. So this is another pretty tough one in the modern age that, because it's pretty tough, I think the price really got up there pretty quick. Of all graded copies, only 21 in 4, 25.3% of them are 9.8s. So recent price on this one, actually a bit of a cool down price. I think this is, if you can swing this, you could buy a Teen Titans 12 first print 9.8 at $511 the one sold for. I think that's a great price for this one. This has been up there to kind of $650, $700 level, certainly about a year ago when the comic book market was a little bit hotter. But I think this one being a tough 9.8, I think The Batman Who Laughs definitely already has a big cult of fans, and there's a lot of potential. I think probably Batman Who Laughs is my highest potential villain out there that you could really buy right now, I think. And it's a tough 9.8, yeah, so buy it on the pullback, closer to 500, screaming deal. If I didn't have one already, I'd be tempted to kind of get in here on the pullback and even pay up to 600, I think, for, it's a really tough 9.8 in the modern age, so I do think it's worth paying up for a Teen Titans 12 in a 9.8 white pages. And the last one here, off and on been recommending this one, but it does just make good sense here as a modern 9.8 to target. Kanan The Last Padawan, number 6. First full appearance of Sabine Wren, and Ezra Bridger. Wren looks like she's coming out in the Ahsoka show. There's a 639 9.8s in a blue label for Kanan The Last Padawan, number 6. 48.6%, the 9.8 ratio. And those have been selling just a little, like right around 600 basically. And yeah, you know what, for like big first hero appearances that, we pretty much know that Sabine Wren will be in that Ahsoka show, I think right around 600 is a decent purchase right now. And I see that one kind of heating up into that Ahsoka show. And hopefully Wren just looks really great. I think it's a possibility that this one starts knocking on $1,000 if Wren is, has a really big part in the Ahsoka show. So we'll keep an eye on that one for sure. All right, team, a couple of great modern ones. And again, thanks to Comic Probe for that little comment and kind of getting me on a little bit of Val Zod research in the last few days. And I'm absolutely loving those Earth 2 keys and the Val Zod Superman for sure. All right, team, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. If you're liking my content, please subscribe and hit that bell, and I'll keep you updated on future videos.